Hey guys, it's M, and today we're going to be doing another AMP tier list, but this time for invasions. I really do like this new game mode. I think it's really cool, and it makes you have to think in ways you wouldn't have thought of before. So I kind of wanted to make this list. I've played a lot of Regent. Honestly, I'm pretty sure most of you, if you wanted to play Imposter, you're probably not finding Imposter games like that. But if you want to play Regent, that queue is like 3 seconds. So I got to play a good chunk of it, and I got to see a lot of ways a lot of these perks play out. And something that a lot of people don't know is a lot of these perks work differently now in Invasion specifically. So this is a quick interjection before the video really starts. I have this many hours and I am relapsed too, and I've platinumed the game. I have to get this out of the way because a lot of times people go, I won't listen to you, you actually haven't played that much at all. So this is what that is. Let me hand it back to past me. Let's get into it. First of all, we got Slippers. This is a classic, as everyone remembers me saying. That's a little presumptuous. If you saw the last video, you might remember me saying that Slippers is one of my favorite perks in the game. I still think it's really good, but in Invasion specifically, if you step over glass, the invaders won't get an alert for where you are. I think that's helpful. I think if you pay attention, you won't need this. So I'm gonna put it in like A or B, I think. Because real talk, we all know that once you're in invasion, the invaders are the biggest focus of what you're doing. Unlike the AI, which you can kind of, you know how they work. Invaders are pretty unpredictable. And against good ones, I imagine this won't really factor in that much. So, like, it's fine, but if you pay attention, you probably won't need this. I'll put it in B. I'll be nice, I'll put it in B. This is Cacophony. Cacophony is interesting in invasions because it makes a sound distraction wherever you throw it. And I imagine that if you're fighting against sweaty invaders, if you did this, they would go, he threw a bottle and then the sound thing appeared over there. That's a little weird, but this could be pretty good for misleading people. I think it's very interesting that this is probably the best Cacophony is going to be, but I might put it in A. It depends. If you're going against an invader that is constantly on you trying to kill you all the time, then this would probably be helpful. But the problem is, if you have bricks and bottles, you're probably saving them for when you see the invader, either to throw it at them or to have an escape option. I don't imagine a ton of people are going to be using this to create sound distractions unless they have like an army of bottles on hand. So I might move it down to, I don't know, C, honestly. It's really just the way people play the game mode. There's no way you're gonna go, let me throw this bottle to get a sound distraction to lead these imposters off. Because if an imposter can't find you and they're good at the game, they're probably just going to look for where you need to go because they know you have to go there. It's good for losing the scent momentarily, but other than that, noise reduction. This makes it so noise disturbances appear only for a short amount of time to imposters. That's cool, I guess. That's not really that helpful. And honestly, like I mentioned before, I'm not that big of a noise reduction fan in the first place. I think it's okay, but I think if you're good, this shouldn't really matter. I think it's in B just because of its base helpfulness and then it having shortened sound distractions. Like, that's fine. I don't really know what else to say about it. Charger, this works the exact same as it does normally. And I'm gonna let's make this D, because like I said, I don't think Trials has any straight up awful perks like that, but like I said before, there's not a lot of times where you just have your night vision off, and in invasions, this really doesn't factor in at all. So this is already not a perk that I think is very good, and in invasion, it does not change at all, so I don't have anything to say about it. Lockbreaker is probably in A. Honestly, just because breaking locks is really strong in invasion. The thing is with invasions is that if you get into a locked box, you either get a full heal or you get a rig recharge. And rig recharge, I'm sure as many of you imposter players know, if someone just gets a rig recharge and they have stun, they're probably just going to beam you with like 2 or 3 stuns back to back. Look at some of Blue Rate's videos where he would get like 3 rig recharges and then just murder the imposter. Stuff like that you could do with with this. And full heals are very strong. If you don't get caught by a lunge, then you can just recover. Even if they can just barely catch you, they get a few good slashes on you, you just fully recover, and that doesn't really matter. For this exact same reason, I'm gonna put Keymeister up here too. I don't want to put it in S, but I kind of do, because having a full heal is very, very strong. It's strong in normal play, but in invasions where people are trying to whittle you down to make you make mistakes, then yeah, it's very strong to be able to just get a full heal. The only reason I think Keymeister is a little bit above this is because you don't have to waste a brick. Like we've discussed, bricks are very important in this mode. Any throwables are. So just being able to use a lockpick and open two things, very helpful. Very, very helpful. Recycle is very interesting because you get to drink a small heal and you get a bottle, right? And the thing is, if you get hit with slash, not lunge obviously, but if you get hit with slash, it takes away 1 bar of health. So this means you can heal that 1 bar of health and then just throw it at the invader. This is normally not a very good ability. I would not normally recommend people bring this, but in this mode in particular, it is not a bad pick. I'm not going to lie to you. Backpack, I mean, backpack is just the same thing. It's like I said before, it's a feel-good perk where you bring it and you get an extra item slot. There's nothing really wrong with having an extra item slot in any scenario. So like what am I supposed to say? You get to hold another brick, another bottle, maybe you get like 4 bricks and then you have your extra slot. I might put it in S for this mode, honestly. You get to be a big like hoarder of anything. Oh god, what are you called? Short circuit? Yeah, short circuit I think is probably in A still. This is still just a good perk. It doesn't do anything different now, but it's fine. It still helps you get your rig back faster. If you find a lot of small batteries, this is very good. If you use stun, because stun has the longest recharge, I believe, this is very good. If you have any rig and you want to get it faster, this is just a good thing to have. And since a lot of rigs are very good for countering imposters, like there's no way I could put this under A. This is just a good thing to have. Hide and breathe. For invasions, I don't know. It's good for the same reason I said in the normal tier list, where it's like you can hide and then you can get the objective done. That's cool, but in the context of you're doing something with invaders, let me think, bro. Because in theory, it's not that bad, because again, you still have those heavier objectives where you would like to sprint. And I think a very strong thing that not a lot of people talk about is that imposters have no way of getting adrenaline, and you already have more stamina than them. So anytime you get adrenaline, you just kind of dust them immediately. Do I want to put this in B though? Because if you use hide and breathe, this has to be a big brain play moment. This can't just be something you do in the middle of a chase and you go, let me hide really quick. That wouldn't work. If you plan it out and you know an invader's about to attack you and you need to get past them, and then you pop this, run past them, or you pop this and then you do like I said normally, you get a stamina based objective done, or you carry something to where it needs to be, it's still a helpful perk. So this one, I imagine if you're not as good at the game, this probably goes in C. Like if you're not really good at strategizing, this probably goes in C or D. But if you can, I imagine this could be in B or A, but for most, I'm gonna just put it in B. Hide and heal, I mean, the problem is really the hiding. Like hiding is an issue in invader mode because again, I just imagine that you don't want to hide that often, like straight up in a box or something, because you know they can just pull you out of it. But again, since slash does 1 bar of damage and this heals for 1 bar of damage, it's not the worst thing in the world, I'll tell you what. But let me tell you what is the worst thing in the world. Hello. Hide and restore. Yeah, no, I don't see any way you would want to do this in invasions, because like I said before, it's good in cold snap or any sort of thing where you need to hide. Outside of that, no, and I don't see anyone wanting to hide for a long time against invaders. It's just not something you would want to do. So I'm gonna leave that there. This has to be quick escape. I hate these two perks. I hate the fact that they look so similar. Quick escape, the thing is, they made it so that in base kit, if you get hit, you get a automatic, whatever this perk is called. I don't know why I just blanked it. Quick escape. You get a free quick escape. So I don't know if those two stack super well, but I I can't imagine this is a bad thing. I can't imagine any scenario where you would get slashed by an invader and you don't want extra speed to get away from them. So in this specific scenario, because invaders do a fixed amount of damage, I would probably put this in B. Because if you get caught weird and they don't manage to grab you, this is really solid. So I'll put it here. I'll put it in B. Invisible. This has a very interesting property where in invasions, they can't see you if you're peeking out, but you don't want to be hiding. It's really just these two, like hide and breathe and hide and heal. You can only tap the hide button and then come out and you'll still get the benefit. These you kind of just have to sit there and hide for. I guess if you hide in like a crate or a locker or something, this could be really good. Kind of, not really. It's like, I just don't see any way. I just don't see any way that you would really want to run this. I mean, I'm sure that maybe there's some hiding god that could show me something, but otherwise, no. This isn't like Dead by Daylight or something where you have a quick hide option where you're like running and then you just hop in there really fast and then you could peek out. No. And I believe they can hear you hiding through their headphones anyway. So I just don't imagine this being this good or that good. Doorbreaker, this still just is not that great. This really has no difference. And honestly, I don't even know what else to say about it. Like it's there. You could run it, but I still think slippers is a way more common scenario. And most like sweaty people who play trials are probably ducking doors anyway. You'll see good players of trials duck to open doors even when there isn't a trap on them. Like they just do it subconsciously. So I don't think that this is needed. I guess it could help in a scenario where an invader is chasing you and you don't have time to duck and open the door. That's it. That's really all I have. And honestly, in that scenario, you'd probably just want to keep running anyway. Like the usage is a little too niche for me to give this anything else higher. Smash. Another quick little cut in, sorry. If you'd like to support a small, growing content creator, please consider joining my Patreon. You get behind the scenes stuff, a few videos that no one's even seen yet, and that aren't really that close to being finished. If you would like to help, like my beloved Chazbox here, love that guy, I would recommend you check out the Patreon. It's going to be in the description. Okay, back to past me again. I mean, Smash is Smash. There's really nothing else I can say about it. Oh, wow, this invader is chasing me. Invaders can't get smashed, by the way. They don't have a perk like that. Most they can do is open a door in 2 kicks. Smash, you just break down the door. So maybe they try to do something cute and lock you in, you just break through the door. They can't break double doors at all, to my knowledge, so you can, by yourself. It's Smash. I really don't know what else to say. It's the same thing, as it normally is. Strong Arm, this perk just does nothing against invaders, which is a damn shame. I guess I understand why. I guess I didn't want everyone running strong arm, stun locking the killer, and then just killing him, but it's a little bit of a shame that it does nothing in this mode. And welcome to the biggest disappointment of 2025, Evasive Maneuvers in D tier, and you know why? It doesn't work on invaders. I genuinely think this is a silly decision by the devs that this does nothing against invaders. Again, I guess they didn't want it to be the meta pick if you knew you were gonna be invaded, but I mean, come on guys, like it's all the perk is made to do. You made a mode where a character has a one-shot grab and you know people would want to use a perk to escape it, and then you don't let them do it. It has a cooldown. I guess they didn't want to have it on because the invader could probably try to get a grab, they push away from you, and then say the invader dies or has to escape, and by that point this will probably already be recharged so you can't grab them again. I'm guessing that's the scenario they wanted to avoid, if I worded that right, but it's kind of disappointing. And strong arm doing nothing against invaders that's special, also kind of disappointing. They're still good against X-Pops and all that, but that's really not the main threat of this mode, so it doesn't really matter. Double doses, I don't have a dedicated squad to play trials with, so when I play this mode, I play with randoms. And randoms, it's a 50-50 if they die a lot or not. And this perk lets you revive 2 people. Now, if you're in a team where they're getting dog walked or the invaders are just very good, that is also a factor. You can't just run into randomly really good invaders that are in a group, right? Then this is very helpful because I'm sure we've all seen the scenario where one guy gets executed and then another guy gets executed. And at the current patch of the game we're at now, when an invader downs a survivor, they don't have to leave. I imagine that's going to get changed because I think that's a little nutty. But yeah, Yeah, it's very possible for 2 people to get downed if they play really bad. So honestly, I think this is B tier. I mean, there's other things you could do with this slot, but I wouldn't blame you for running that in this mode. This could be very, very clutch. Anti-Toxin, not really that big of a factor in this mode. It's really bad if you get Psychosis when an imposter is there. It's just, they can't do Psychosis. So unless you fumble and walk into a Psychosis mine or something, this doesn't really play in effect at all. Oh god, here we go with booster and item giving. I hate this. Surplus. It's true, you could get a bottle or a brick or something, but why would you run this perk? This perk just sucks. Like, they'd have to do something really good with this perk, because it's just garbage in every mode. So I wouldn't run this. Welcome to the other biggest disappointments of 2025. Bam, bam. And I'm sure a lot of people are raising their eyebrows like, you think self-revive and last chance wouldn't be good in this mode? They don't do anything to invaders, which again is another decision where I'm like, okay, again, I guess they didn't want it to be the meta pick, but it's already the meta pick in base trials. Man, I don't know. It's interesting that at least last chance. Self-revive, I get they maybe didn't want someone to get executed and then just self-revive into getting grabbed again. But if they revert the gate change where they have to go back into a gate after they execute someone, then this really wouldn't be a problem. I don't know. I think it's weird that both of these just don't work against imposters. But because they don't work against imposters, I kind of have to put them in D. I wouldn't really recommend running this if you're doing that mode. It just doesn't really make any sense to. Incognito, it's in the game. Again, since NPCs aren't really the biggest threat in this mode, I don't see a ton of reason to run it, because again, in normal gameplay, when you have to sneak around people all the time and they can't just turn around and see you with their eyeballs because they're not players, then this makes sense. But since players can just turn and see you, there's not a lot of scenarios where you would want to just crouch fast. And since they don't get any, like, they don't get Dead by Daylight scratch marks or anything, like, there's no reason for you to crouch everywhere. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to run this perk. I honestly might put it in C. I don't think it's in D. Like, I guess shit. Is it in D? Like, there's really no reason to run it unless you're trying to hide from a base X-pop on the map. But since invasions normally are on standard, unless you're like a Giga Sweat and you have invasions on psychosurgery, this doesn't really play a factor. So I'm gonna put it in Z still. Good job. Okay, so good job. The thing with good job is it heals you whenever an objective's done. And like I said, slash only does 1 damage. This means if your team starts cooking, there's a good chance you might just heal automatically without even having to do anything. So let's say you get slashed twice and you're running from the imposter, you're drawing aggro, all that good stuff, right? And then your team does an objective, then you heal. So the imposter's damage that they just didn't happen. So I'm gonna put that in B. Let me see what the cooldown is again. I believe I can see the exact cooldown. It's 2 minutes. That's kind of gross. 2-minute cooldown for 1 bar of health. Interesting. That's about the time it takes for an imposter to respawn if they leave. I'm still gonna put it in B because you still have the chance of your team doing something and then you automatically heal. But if you're playing solo, I imagine this would be down here though. The experience is very different if you're a multiplayer or in single player. So if you're in single player, this is probably down here. I don't think this is that helpful in single player against imposters. But in multiplayer, it's probably in B. Boosted? I don't know. You get that extra bonus that the killers just can't get. I guess I might put it in C though still. I don't know. Yeah, you can share the boosters with your team. Like, you can get your booster and then they can get the ones in the secret room if they want to look for it. But it's still boosted. Like, I don't really know what else to say about it. Whatever bonus you get is a random bonus. So if you get health, that's really good. If you get stamina, that's really good too. Especially if you save it for when an imposter is about to chase you. But since it's RNG, I still wouldn't really lean on this perk. I still would not recommend you run this like that. Bandage Master or Bandage Expert Expert, one of the two. Yeah, it's Bandage Expert. Do I even think that's arguable that it's an S? I don't really know, because if you find a bandage, you get a full heal, and bandages aren't even that crazy. Like, the full heal bottles are very good, don't get me wrong, but you have to break open a locked box for it. Bandages can just be anywhere, and the fact that you can fully heal after any engagement if you just have a bandage is kind of crazy. Even if the imposter manages to grab you and you escape it, you just wrap once, you're done. You got full health back because it heals for 2 bars. I really don't know what else to say about this perk. I think this is, again, one of the better perks to run here. It's really interesting to see how the perk placements changed in my mind. I imagine there's some more sweaty players, and I don't even mean that as like a negative. I imagine there's more people that are playing the mode way more than me that will have some of these perks in different places. But for the average Trials player, who I would say is probably like relapsed and a little sweaty by themselves, right? I think this is about right. I don't think there's any super crazy placements here, but that's been my thoughts. As long as you're respectful, I'd love to know what you guys think about this, and I've been M, and I am out.